God is saying today, accept grace for ascension today. You must allow yourself to be graced in order to rise above the things that are putting pressure on you. I am the God who makes every burden light and every yoke easy. The heavy weight is not something that I have chosen for you. Neither the harshness of the yoke nor its harshness is yours. Right now, the anointing that is upon your head is flowing down you, and it is breaking off the heavy shackles and chains of anguish that are associated with the downturn and suffering that you are experiencing. Please take it. Please acknowledge the sacrifice that I made for you on the cross. I have renewed you, so take a deep breath and take in the revitalizing that I have accomplished. You are entitled to a new birth, which I made possible by sacrificing myself on the cross, and you should take use of this day to step into life and life that is more plentiful. I have seated you, the Father says to the child. You are not placed below, but rather above. In myself, I have elevated you to a position that is well above all principalities and powers. My blessing is the only hand that is upon you, and there is no other hand. I am the Lord of your life, and there is no ruling principle that can usurp my authority over you. Allow yourself to be liberated today. It is important to avoid becoming preoccupied with material law and material objects. You are now a master of the material world thanks to my efforts. The same way that I calmed storms and multiplied food, the person that I am on the inside of you is calming the storm that is raging within you and releasing the bread that is full of provision for every need that you have in your life. Accept this, and take the ascension principle that Calvary made possible in your life and incorporate it into your own being. What the Father has to say about you today is that I have liberated you from the burden of tension and effort. It is time for you to take a break, my dearly cherished. My blessing does not add any additional sadness to the situation. On the other hand, when you take my hand, it is accompanied by rest and tranquility. The benevolence of the world is a harsh thing. Please allow the manacles of stress to be removed from your life today. This is the command that heaven has given you. You are being protected from the spiritual battle and familiar spirits that would cause you to become agitated in the name of Jesus. You do not need to worry. Liberty, as well as the absence of fear and effort, are characteristics that are present in every location where my spirit resides. I have prepared for you a dwelling that will allow you to experience what it is like to be protected by the sturdy tower belonging to my name in a way that you have never experienced before. The illegitimate power of men's ideas and judgments is eroding, and favor from on high is taking their place over your life. This is happening because of things that are happening. The words that have been spoken, even in secret, that you have sensed and felt coming forth are falling inert and have no power to influence you in any way. According to the Father, every tongue that speaks out against you is condemned from the beginning. The recompense of my favor cleanses the environment of your existence, so rejoice and look up, for I have liberated you by my power today, says the Father. I have emancipated you by my power. I am aware of the obligations that you have made, the Father says to me now. When you find yourself wondering if anyone is taking note of what you are doing or the efforts that you are making, remember that heaven is paying attention, and that is the only thing that matters. My attention has not been diverted from the determination that you have within your heart to seek first the kingdom and to walk in integrity and honesty. As you walk, you should be encouraged. Keep in mind that the destination you are aiming for is much closer than it may appear to be. Maintain a conscientious attitude. Pray with diligence and be resolute in your conviction that nothing will be able to convince you to back out of what I have promised. Without a doubt, the seeds that you have planted and the efforts that you have put forth in order to broaden your vision will bear fruit. For the days that lie ahead, call upon your inner fortitude and bravery. Rest in my favor whenever your energy begins to wane and your ability to concentrate becomes hazy. Learn to laugh, take things easy, and seek out company with others who are loving and optimistic. Even when you are sleeping, my favor is still hard at work in the background. I never asked you to work yourself to the point of exhaustion in order to fulfill all of the promises that I have made. Before you fall apart, there is a point when you should withdraw from the situation. Do not make the mistake of ignoring the need for rest, for I created and constructed you in your humanity to make time for rest and to recharge your batteries. As the Father says, I am working while you are sleeping, therefore, come into my rest. Take advantage of everything that this day has to offer you. When tomorrow arrives, you should be prepared to take a step back into the control of your fate. Today, the Father tells you that you are establishing the foundations. The Father states that after you, those who come after you will have a foundation layer to build upon. The choices you make today, even if they appear to be unimportant and trivial, will have a profound impact on the lives of others who are in your immediate vicinity for many years to come. Maintain a cautious gait. Be as smart as a serpent while remaining as harmless as a dove. Despite the fact that the people around you live as if there is no future or accountability, you should be aware that your life has a lot greater impact than you could ever really comprehend. I brought you up to be a standard bearer, someone who would serve as an example of piety and holiness so that others could follow in your footsteps. In the future, let this be your determination to achieve your role and, in doing so, avoid others from experiencing a great deal of unnecessary suffering. Let this be your resolution for today. According to the Father, this comes at a time of retribution. The period of time during which seeds planted in the past begin to sprout and produce fruit. However, some will create and spring up with the fruits of foolish choices and lives conducted in selfishness and blindness. Some will produce a harvest of delight, while others will produce and spring up with something else. Those who are hurting and those who are suffering should hear my pity and my grace spoken to them. You should let your words to be the cleansing agent that opens the door to a new direction in life for those individuals who are stuck in the muck and are unable to see a way forward. Until the day is over and your task is finished, you should provide hope to those who have no hope and rest to those who are exhausted. This is the share that will be given to all those individuals who follow in my footsteps, and their reward will be prompt and certain as they are diligent in their pursuit of me. This day, the Father tells you that your dreams are not totally out of reach. Never let the view of men or even your own restricted thinking delegitimize your desire. This is something you should never do. You can have the impression that you are incompetent, unable, and devoid of opportunities. However, this is a deception. Even at this very moment, my presence that is within you is placing you ahead of the competition in every attempt you undertake. I have revealed that reality to you. Take it as the truth for you. Say to yourself, it is my Father who is the one who causes the work to be done. Is this something that you believe, or are you able to be dissuaded by unfavorable circumstances, limitations, or challenges? Today is the day that I urge you to make up your mind and make a decision in your spirit that I am provision, and that nothing will be impossible for you to do. According to the Father, I want you to leave yourself with no potential path of retreat since you are capable of doing anything your heart desires. Prepare yourself, yes, and gird your muscles for the challenge, and then destroy any bridges that you have built in the past. It is of your own free will that I knock on the door while I stand there. My arms contain the fulfillment of the biggest dream and the highest heart's longing that has ever been conceived. Keep the door open to me, and shut the door on failure. Your life will be filled with hopelessness and pessimism as long as you continue to leave room for failure and disappointment. They will find you out and frame your life accordingly. It is the domain of darkness that is attempting to get you to return to it. However, I have transferred you out of the domain of darkness and into the kingdom of light. Present yourself as a child of that light. Eliminate from your vocabulary phrases such as impossible, failure, and despair. Do not give in to the age-old addiction of the victim mindset and refuse to nurse it. However, you are not a victim. You are a living manifestation of potential that has not yet been realized, and my hand has breathed upon you. Today, the Father says, I am here, make a conversation with me. Beloved, I am always inclined to hear your prayer. I am always interested in hearing it. The prayers that you present to my throne are not being ignored by me, nor am I refusing to accept them altogether. Solicit. Pray that your happiness will be complete. Do not let your lack of faith or the incorrect teachings of others lead you to believe that I am unwilling to react to the cries that come from your heart. Take the time to pray in a manner that is honest and free of any pretense or affectation. It is not necessary for you to make an effort to overcome my reluctance to answer, because I do not have any reluctance to answer the prayers, intercession, and requests of those who reach out to me with the fervency of a humble heart. Get ready for a speedy response. Due to the fact that I have submitted a petition, you should be aware that I will arrive at the scheduled time. In order to demonstrate that I am ever present and powerful in the lives of people who walk in faithfulness within my kingdom, my eye constantly examines the land from pole to pole. You are the one and only tremendous motivator that causes my hand to be opened and the skies to be poured out in response to your need. Finding confidence in the earth and in your heart is the motivation that causes this. At no point should you give the adversary the opportunity to corrupt you with the erroneous belief that I am keeping myself apart from you for whatever purpose. If you call out to me in the time of your need, I will get back to you with the answer, and I will do it very quickly. Today, the Father tells you that you are making it through to the conclusion that you expect. At this point in time, the Father explains that certain things that have not been clear up to this point are being made clear, and this is happening even today. I am the one who has filled you with desires, and I am the one who has made you want the precise thing that I have determined you are capable of having and possessing. I ignited that fire within you, and I awoke within you that indescribable agony and yearning that you have been searching for. What had been nothing more than a yearning for spiritual fulfillment is now gaining shape and developing into a plan for going forward. The Father tells you that this is your now time and this is your now season today. It is getting close to the day when you will no longer be living only with the idea of things. Rather, you will be able to taste and actually see the manifestation of things that you had before thought might never be. Keep in mind, the Father adds, that the agony that you feel in your heart is the prophecy that has been placed over your life. The thing that would inevitably pull you out of the shallows and into the deeps of my perfect will for your life is something that I have conceived of and conceived of in you. The adversary has made an effort to dissuade you from believing that plan A is no longer an option. The situation did not go as planned, the conditions were unfavorable, and you were inclined to give up hope. The Father instructs us to take another look. When you look through the lens of the Spirit, you will see the fresh wind of my Spirit bringing everything together and causing the highest heart's desire and the biggest dream fulfilling to become a reality in your life. It is both who I am and what I do, and upon you I release the fulfillment of everything that I have planted in your heart and into that vision that you have been holding in your heart for such a long time. Today, the Father makes it clear that you are not being hindered in your life. You have the impression that something is preventing you from moving forward and that it is impossible for you to make progress. It is the enemy's falsehood that you have said. He wants you to believe that the active opposition against you is in control, but I want you to know that I am on the inside of you, and I am completely in control of the situation. God, when are you going to do something about my situation? You have been asking yourself as you have been looking up at the heavens. In addition to Calvary, what more can I do for you, my child? Do you mean to imply that the sacrifice that took place at Calvary was insufficient, and that your circumstances require anything more than the sacrifice of the cross? Father says, I understand the pain and the frustration that you are experiencing. Your heart is crying out, and I hear it. I am telling you that the work is finished. At that time, on the cross, 2,000 years ago, I did everything that I could possibly do for you. Go into the task that has been completed. It is important that you acknowledge the fact that when I gave you my greatest gift 2,000 years ago, I also included with him every lesser thing that you might possibly ask me for. Then, what comes next? In the event that the job has been completed and the path has been made apparent, what are the requirements to proceed? First and foremost, my child, you should learn to approach every circumstance with the assumption that everything I have described to you is accurate. Put yourself in a position where you feel that every promise that pertains to your circumstance is already in effect and is being brought into manifestation in your life. Whatever your feelings may be, whatever the circumstances may show, or whatever other people may say, acts of faith are actions. You are taking significant acts in preparation for victory, and faith is the result of those efforts when they are carried out. You are free to say, yes, Lord, as often as you like, but until you take a chance, step out of your comfort zone, make a sacrifice, confront the giant, and go forward, nothing will change. It is important to resist the misconception that all that is required to bring about change is a fervent reception of the message. The laborious toil must be completed. Up until the point where you vault over the rail, you won't be able to walk on the water. Now is the time for you to act. You are supported by everything that I have promised you in the form of my word. It is now your turn. Heaven will declare bankruptcy on behalf of the individual who swiftly acts in accordance with my message and has faith in what I communicate. In this day and age, the Father declares, I am with you and I will never leave or forsake you. Despite the fact that you will be making your bed in hell, my presence will be there. There is never any doubt about whether I am available or whether my promises are able to alter the circumstances that are currently taking place in your life. Now, the only question that remains is whether or not you have the capacity to perceive my presence and to accept the deliverance that I am offering to you right now. Where is your bravery, exactly? Trust is all about taking chances. There is no such thing as a walk of faith that is completely risk-free. Your sob has been heard by me. Despite the fact that I am moving in your circumstance, you should be aware that there are activities that match to it that you need to take in order to see the result that you have petitioned me for. Consequently, muster up the fortitude to get out of bed and go for a walk. Get up in the middle of the crisis and shake yourself out of any passivity you may have been experiencing. The adversary's goal is to render you helpless and prevent you from making any progress. You do not lack any strength. Inside of you, I am the greater one. I am the greater one. It's possible that the strain is tremendous, yet the path forward is crystal apparent. You will enter the kingdom, but you will do it on your feet and not on a stretcher. This is because you will have to go through a great deal of suffering. You have to come forward and take action. I will cause your forward momentum to put the enemy to flight as your faith takes wings and carries you over the mountains that have been standing in your way for such a long time. I will do this as you act. As of today, the Father has stated that the prognosis is not gloomy. Your adversary wants you to believe that there is no hope for your future. In your state of desperation, you had the impression that there was nothing worth living for. Oh, my dear, I am working in your life. I am working in your life. I am working for the fulfillment of the greatest dream and the utmost heart's desire with my efforts. Attempt to keep your heart from being so tormented. Do not be discouraged, the Father adds. Refuse to give in to the misery of whatever it is that your life is experiencing at this very moment. When Moses brought up the serpent in the wilderness, he used the phrase, "Look and live," to describe his actions. Your sin and failure were nailed on the cross on the shoulder of the Son of God, and that serpent was a representation of that. Instead of focusing on the current circumstance, you should look to me and live. For the sake of bringing you out of the darkness and bringing you up, the Father adds, I paid the price. The time has come for you to act. Don't bother looking at what the circumstances have to say. It may appear that the circumstances of your life are completely and entirely beyond your ability to influence and that they are out of your reach, but this is not the case. I am going to take you up where you are while you are at your end. Bring about the necessary adjustments. Move forward in a manner that is in accordance with the promises that my word has made. It is in accordance with the command that you will be able to inherit the promise. Yes, I am speaking. In the middle of the night, I am speaking to you. In the name of my word, I am speaking to you. I am sending angel soldiers to fight with you. If you give me cooperation, I will offer you transformation and change. Give me cooperation. It is God's will that your life will be a small bit of heaven, and it will be heaven in your life. Let your prayers and your cries always be as they are in heaven, so that they are also on earth, and I promise you, my love, that is exactly how it will be. All of your belongings will be in your possession, the Father declares to you today. In spite of the fact that everything in your environment is struggling and contending, I will conceal you in my hidden place and protect you when everything else is falling apart and crumbling. My dear, do not be afraid. As a matter of necessity, fallen humanity must be made aware of the vanity that lies behind their erroneous confidence. In spite of the fact that the darkness may get extremely dark, the day will be as bright for you as the dawn spreads across the mountains. It is imperative that you do not fall into the pessimistic outlook that is prevalent in the story of the entire world of men. Your attention should be directed on who I am in your life, and you should be aware that even if 10,000 things fall on your right hand, I will watch over you and protect you. This day, you must run inside the tower that is named for me. When they run into my name, those who are virtuous will find refuge. It is your duty to always run to me, for it is in the safety of my embrace that the scourge that comes during the day and the plague that lurks during the night will not come near you. While others flee away from me, you should seek to always run to me. Despite the fact that you are in the middle of the intense test, you will emerge from it without even the slightest trace of smoke odor on your clothing. In addition to being who I am, this is also what I do. According to your God, the labor that was done on the cross and the power that was obtained via the resurrection are both reflections of my unwavering intention to enlarge, increase, and maintain you regardless of what may be going on in the circumstance. This day, the Father instructs us to allow patience to perform its perfect job inside us. I will not abandon you in your current location, therefore I ask that you have patience. Despite the fact that you are aware of the fact that the things in your life are not accomplishing my will or blessing your life, I will not abandon you to the consequences of the poor choices you have made. The gift that I have bestowed upon you is that you currently possess my highest and best, as well as in the world to come. You will be raised up into a place where you are walking in the entirety of my goodness, and you will not desire anything. This is the plan that I have for your life. I have been taught by some that I withhold and deny, yet I am not the one who denies, rather, I am the one who denies. I am the one who gives, and it is my hope that you will not be lacking in anything that is meaningful to your life and to your holiness. In light of this, the Father urges you to assist with my procedure. If you cooperate with my process, you will be able to witness the completeness of my outcome in your life and in the circumstances you find yourself in. I will remove from your heart those things that are working against you and against my intentions, and hence you should embrace the circumcision that I will do. Only those who have had an internal circumcision will withstand to the very end so that they can be spared. You have been called upon to make a breakthrough. You have been selected to have an end in me that is greater than something that your heart could ever hope for. In order for the life of the resurrection to bring about its complete and final expression in your life, I want you to bare your breasts to the working of the death of the cross in you. My plan is the fulfillment of your greatest wish. In this day and age, the Father commands that there should be no odd fire on my altar. When Aaron's sons were in the days of Moses, they were careless about the fire that they started on my altar, and the result was not a pleasant one for them. There is a part of myself that I have ignited within you, and the adversary would do anything to put it out. The Father instructs you that there are influences all around you that are attempting to inflame you and divert your attention away from my presence. In the midst of you, I am accomplishing something, and you must not allow yourself to be distracted or diverted from it. When it comes to my kingdom, you should never let your heart become split or let the coals of your desire for it become cold. According to the Father, I am aware of the path that you choose. You can count on me to be by your side every step of the journey, guiding and directing you through every obstacle. Not only are you not lost, but you are also not in a situation that is hopeless. Be aware that in a moment of time, I will remove all of the barriers that are standing in your way and cause you to walk into the fulfillment of everything that I have promised you, even if it may appear that the route forward is difficult for you to find. The responsibility that you have is to keep your eyes on me and to never let your heart be enticed by the voice of the deceiver who is shouting from the sidelines, encouraging you to give up on the race that I have set before you. To this day, the Father says, my heart desires for you to flourish and to be in good health. Due to the fact that I am so dedicated to your well-being, I have sent the only begotten to you in order to grant you life and life in ever greater abundance. People who profess to speak in my name have not always told you that, but it is not what you have always heard. Take what other people have to say and take a close look at what I have to say. Have faith in my assurance. Put your faith in the things that the cross has paid for in your life. Put aside the belief that the majority of men who are not faithful and who have accepted the deception of the adversary are correct. It is impossible for religious minds to accept the idea that anyone other than themselves may be blessed, but I want you to know that I have made you the focus of my attention. Be assured that I am providing for and guarding you in the same manner as I would my own person whenever the terrible experience impacts you. This day, keep a mindset of blessings. Imagine that you are the one who is blessed, and then use your lips to bless everyone else around you. You are not immature or lacking in spirituality if you seek the blessing. It is the enemy's falsehood that you have said. Have the intention in your heart to embrace the expectation that your life would be filled with life and life more abundantly. The fact that you have a mindset of abundance does not bother me in the least. According to what I have written in my word, as in heaven so on earth. There is no poverty in my word. There is no illness or disease that can be found in heaven. In heaven, there is no misery to be found. In order for you to be able to serve me without being distracted and with complete delight, the work of the cross was to alleviate and remove all of these things from your life. Please accept this as your most fundamental comprehension of what it means to be a member of my family. Today, the Father instructs us to open ourselves up to the reality of God. Put yourself in a position to receive the revelation of who I am and what I am doing by submitting yourself to my word. The Rhema and the Logos revelation of who I am in your life is the one that you should receive. Your wishes will be spontaneously fulfilled under the mandate of yoke easy and burden light as you receive unfiltered insight into who I am on the inside of you. This will happen as you progress along your journey. Attempt to gain an understanding of my word. Seek to understand not just my actions but also my methods. Once it has been processed in your human spirit, your knowledge of me will contribute to you all that is related to life and holiness. According to the Father, you have made a clear request to get access to my power. Your life is the channel through which my power is brought into operation, and the knowledge that I teach to you through my word and through my spirit is responsible for this. The understanding of my word and the revelation of my spirit are the means by which weakness and impotence are resolved. It is my intention to provide you with everything that is required for life and to make your life more plentiful, and I will accomplish this through the knowledge that is included inside my word. Please take it. In the event that you give yourself over to it, my message will bring you success in life. As a matter of fact, nothing else will.